Okay. Hey guys, welcome back to the Transformation Church Message Recap Podcast.
There you go. I felt you leaning into it.
We are back. I don't know how many weeks in a row now, but dadgummit, we're getting there.
We were even in Birmingham last week.
We did it in Birmingham.
We made it happen.
We're back.
Yep.
I'm one of your hosts, Justin Oswald. The Justin Oswald.
Not to be confused.
Not to be confused. Don't call it a comeback.
Yeah.
Whatever that means. So it's from a rap song.
Yeah. Might be imitators, but you're the originator.
Never duplicated. Often imitated. Wow. Anyways.
Amateur golfer, professional golf instructor.
That's your title from now on.
I'm an amateur golfer.
But yeah, we got to talk about that. We played some golf last week. Took Justin golfing.
Well, we got to introduce everybody first. So Brad's here. Obviously, I don't know who that is. Lead pastor.
Yes, sir.
TC. John's here.
I'm here.
He's here.
They told me they'd fire me if
Kyle did not want to be on the
so.
podcast. He is behind the camera. He's pushing buttons.
Yep.
So
Kyle said he's got a face for radio, and that's where he's staying.
wow. Hey.
And so do I. So thank you, Kyle, for taking my place.
Listen, I've met a lot of people. Remember Mark the Shark on TK101
Oh my
from
God,
back in the
yeah.
day? Do you remember?
Uh-huh.
Mark the Shark.
I think he passed away actually, but he was
all right.
he looked nothing
That's
like
not where I thought that was going.
he looked
dark.
nothing like you would think he would look.
Oh, if we're talking, never mind. We're talking about people that fall into that category.
talking
There's a
about
lot on TK101.
You talking about Candy?
Yeah.
We were friends with me and my cousin April were friends with Candy and her. You knew Ray.
Yeah, I knew Big Ray.
Yeah. Her husband Ray was a drummer.
Bought a couple drum sets from Ray.
Yep. But Candy was the one of the nicest people I've ever met. I think she's still on Cat Country. I think.
Sure. I don't listen to the radio.
She was on TK101 for years and years.
Years.
And, man, me and my cousin April, we went to some concerts because Candy hooked up. Maybe I shouldn't say that. We won some of the contests. But
No one can
Former TK101 listeners that are like, I can't believe this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyhow, I don't know why we're talking about that. Oh, which is Face Radio.
Face radio. Yeah, but yeah, it's good. So we got Kyle here, John here.
Yep.
Me and Justin.
We're back.
Y'all went golfing.
We had we went golfing. We were in Birmingham last week. Obviously, that's where we recorded the podcast. We at the art conference.
That was the most fun I've had on a podcast in a long time.
Really?
I thought it was just it was great.
There was some funny moments for sure.
But yeah, no, it's a good time. Yeah,
What's funny about that? We were talking the funny moment that was there. That was the clip or whatever. It's like we could have never wrote that.
no.
It's like I'm only funny spontaneously. You know, I don't think I could write a joke and then like I'm gonna say this in the podcast and it'd be like there's no way to do that.
Yeah.
So I don't know how comedians do it, but that was pretty funny. But that was only comes out in the moment.
Yeah.
You know?
But no, we went to Birmingham, went to a conference. Nate and I played golf on Monday, and then me, Nate, and Justin played golf on Thursday.
Yep.
And had a good time. Played 18 holes in Greenville at the Robert Trent Jones course. Gorgeous. So
Very nice.
So nice.
If you never, Robert Trent Jones Golf Trail is through Alabama, and it's all these different courses.
Yep.
If you didn't know that. And there's one in Greenville, Alabama, and there's nothing in Greenville. And this golf course is like, we're like driving on this road in the middle of nowhere, and then all of a sudden you turn in and you're like
an oasis of golf.
Yeah, it's really incredible because it's a little bit like where the clubhouse is. One of the pictures was from the clubhouse. They had like this balcony on the this patio thing on the back, and you could just like you see all the hills. It's like on a high hill.
Yeah.
Really really nice. So yeah, we played that, and there's actually one. We bought a car. If you live within 100 miles. If you're an Alabama resident or live within 100 miles of one of the courses, you could buy one of their cards. So that way, when you go to any of the courses, you only got to pay like $49 to play.
Otherwise, like $125 to play.
Right,
Wow.
right. So we got the cards.
The more you know.
Yeah, the more you know.
We got the cards because there's one in
Mobile.
Point Clear,
Oh, and
south
Point
of Fairhope.
Did you have to pay the original, like the?
Yeah, so you got to pay
main fee?
$50 for the card, and then you pay $50 every time to play golf after that with it.
Okay.
It was still cheaper than a normal green fee if you didn't have the card.
Yeah.
But there's one in Mobile and there's one in Point Clear just south of Fairhope. Remember when we used to go to that resort for the IPHC? That golf course is right outside. It's right. That's at our Robert Churchill's. Anyways, so there's like 2 within an hour of here. Greenville's only
hour and 30,
hour and a half away, and then there's one in Prattville. There's one in Opelika. There's one in Birmingham, Shoals,
2 in
way
Birmingham,
up North Alabama, Muscle Shoals, and there's like 13 or 14.
I'm gonna take a sabbatical and just.
Hey. No, but it was
That'd be a lot
fun.
of golf.
It was a really nice golf course.
I'm glad you guys had fun.
It was a good time,
I was so sore on Friday.
bro. I knew this man was going to come out sunburnt and sore.
I forgot sunscreen, and I was like, "Oh, we're kind of pulling in." I'm like, "Well, they'll sell some inside." They were
False.
out. They didn't have
False.
any.
Yeah.
She's like, "I got bug spray." I
Because
was
literally
like,
everyone thinks the same thing. That's the reason why they're all out.
Yeah, literally. Yeah.
And when we were on the driving range practicing, it was like 1 in the middle of the day. That sun was beaming on me. We weren't even at the course yet, and I was like, "Oh, geez, I'm gonna get."
He's finna get lobstered up.
I was thinking about going to see if they had any sleeves in there.
Yeah.
Those the sleeves that
Stretch
some of those
sleeves,
guys wear, the sun sleeve things. But no, it was fun. Great course. Like
Had a blast.
I mean, a couple of the tees we get up on the tee and we're just like looking out, and it's like, get your phone and get a picture of this
Because it was
it was really pretty. There was a big lake and everything, or pond or whatever you want to call it. But
One day we need to go back and do like some of the YouTube channels and just like run cameras the whole time, and just that would be hilarious.
It would be fun. It was fun. Nate's good. Nate scored his best
score. Yeah, best golf score he's ever had.
And he missed.
I did not have that.
He missed several putts. He would have had even a better score.
Yep.
Nate's
good time.
good. Nate's a good golfer.
He's a good golfer.
But
that's what we did.
I did better than I thought I was going to do.
Yeah, you did better than I thought you were going to do.
Nate kept saying that too. You said that, which and I don't think I was just blowing smoke. I mean, I was not hitting them very far, but I was hitting them straighter than I thought I was.
Yep.
A lot of them.
Oh, that's good.
A lot straighter
That's
than I
the main
thought.
thing.
Dude, straight golf is good golf.
Yeah, lot straighter than I thought.
It's hard. People don't realize it, man. I literally went to GNC the other day, but before we left, and there's a young guy in there. He goes to our church, and he's like, "Yeah, what's going on, man? What's going on, PB? Whatever." And I walked in. I was wearing my golf stuff. He was like, Did you just leave the golf course?" I was like, "Yeah, man, just left the golf course." He's like, "I've been thinking about playing golf." He said, "It looks so easy." And I was like, I said, "Yeah, it sure looks that." I said, "Because the people that play it make it look easy."
Yeah, they make it
but
look
it
easy.
is not easy. But we also went to Top Golf while we were in Birmingham. John and Kyle both got to swing some golf clubs.
Listen, I think John's pretty good. I think you got a good swing.
John and Kyle could play some golf if they wanted to now.
I could drive, but I mean that's about it. After that, it's like, nope.
Yeah. Well, some weeks we walk, but
Yeah, that was a good
great dad joke.
That was a pastor joke.
Well, that's why yesterday I went to the driving range by my house, and I was practicing those little chipping shots.
Yep.
Because you want to be able to. But if you're in the rough a little bit, all that,
Yeah,
I want to
exactly.
be able to do that better.
I'm
so.
decent with a 7-iron, but after that, I just can't. I don't know. That's it.
Hey,
Well, it just takes work. That's what Justin and I were just talking about it before we hopped on the air. It's like, at the end of the day, I mean, me and Nate have been playing a lot of golf for the last year and a half, and there are still days like I fell apart in the back nine. It's like there's still days that you're just like, this is so hard. Why is this as hard as it is? So it just takes a lot of work it takes a decent amount of work to get good enough to enjoy it. And then it takes a lot of work to be decent enough to be good.
It's like you have to play a lot and try really hard just to be
mediocre at best.
Yeah.
Literally. Yeah.
Yep.
So all that to say is,
but the whole idea. That's why a year and a half ago when I was like, we ought to start playing golf, and then,
then we did it.
Yeah.
He didn't.
The whole idea of it, I like.
Yeah.
That actually happens a lot with.
Literally.
You always have this like idea, like, all right, I'm going to do this, and then you never do it, and we all end up doing it.
We all end up doing it. Yeah. So, but we got him with the golf. He bought some clubs.
The
now.
whole
He's
idea
invested.
of it, I liked. You're outside, fresh air with people you like.
Yeah, I mean that's always a
cutting
good time.
up.
Yeah, absolutely.
Having fun. So.
It really is a blast.
And if you're competitive, which I am.
Yeah.
It could be fun. But I just was like, man, and I'm going to get a couple lessons. I'm probably going to just get 3 lessons and see if that's good enough. And it may be. And then, some guys, three lessons to get me to the next level. And then, like, I saw a YouTube video where this guy was, they asked what his handicap was, and I forget, and what he normally shoots. And he was like, I guess he was like an 88 or something, but he was getting lessons for particular reason to up his game in one area. So like I think three lessons or sessions may be good enough to get me going.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You get John and Kyle some lessons
to enjoy
them out there playing. They would
listen. I would play if it wasn't so expensive. I would.
That part is expensive.
Rentals.
Well, the rental, that part's easy because a lot of us have extra clubs, so we can get you guys we can get you clubs on course. It's just the green fees. That's where it hits you. You're paying $40 a time. Of course, you guys only play 9 holes probably, so it's $25, $35 each time you go play. But
right for me, I'd be like, well, I don't want to play more than twice a month for it to even,
Yeah.
And at that point,
$50
it's like,
a month, $60 a month. Yeah, it adds up quick. That's why it's like, it is one of those things where it's like, if you're going to get into it, you
just got to commit. That's why if you're going to become a member and pay the membership fee, you almost want to do that because now you've invested maybe $150, $200 a month. So now you force yourself to go play to get your money's worth.
Yeah.
And
like Cypress, I think they're still like $100 a month. It's like, so there's so many cheaper courses out there, but it also just depends on what you want out of the experience. For me, it was one of those things. I don't have a lot of hobbies. You know what I mean? Like I have my shoe game, like stuff like, but I don't have a lot of hobbies. So for me, it was one of those things. Where it was like, I'm going to invest in this because I'm going to make it a priority. This is my mental break. It's the only thing I do that's not work related. Even like a lot of times dinners and stuff like that, or it's people with the church. Like, so a lot of those things are even work related. This is the only thing that to me is like, I do this for me. And yeah, sometimes people from the church will go with me, but I do it for me. Like, I need to be away from my phone for a few hours. I need to be in the sunlight.
Literally, you don't have your phone today.
Yeah, I left my phone at home today, which is, I feel very strange, but not on purpose. It wasn't like spiritual. I forgot it. Let me specify. I left my phone at home today. No. So it's just, you're outside, sunshine. It's not a huge workout, but it is like, you're moving your body, you're moving your joint, but mental clarity, you don't do it to love yourself because you usually end up hating yourself more when you're done playing golf. But so it's just, that was the reason I started playing it. And for me, I don't have a ton of hobbies. So to me, it was like, this is a worthwhile investment. That's what me and Ashley sat down. We're like, let's budget this and be okay spending some money on it because this is what, it's the only thing I do. I don't play video games. I don't.
Well, even
if you, I don't really play video games anymore either.
Yeah.
Even if you think of like fishing,
it's an expensive
if
thing.
You wanted to start fishing, you got to go buy the stuff. Hobbies.
You got to get the license.
Hobbies cost a little money. If you were into gaming, the gaming computers aren't the cheapest. Like, everything costs something, right?
You invest in the things you enjoy, and that's what it boils down to. But I think that's like even like. We were just talking about it in our staff meeting today. Like, what are the things that you wish you had more time for, right? And it's like a lot of people at the table. It's like I kind of wish I just had more time for hobbies, and it's like you can only live in a grind for so long before you need something to take your mind off of everything. Like that's so like we haven't really talked about this, but my overseers made it mandatory for me to play golf once a week and go to the gym twice a week. Like so that's actually like. From my leadership saying like we're telling you to do these things because you're going to be at your best if you're doing these things. It's like so I think all of us finding something we can do that we get away from it all because at the end of the day it's like even as we're leaders at church but like we're leaders at home too and like you got Theo, you got Savannah, same. Kyle's got the girls and Heather, and so in some degree or another, we're also leaders in other spheres. And even though Justin's like single, but then he's at the PYP thing. He's got so we've all added additional layers of leadership to our life. And if we're not intentional about being proactive about hobbies and strategically scheduling our downtime, you can only run at that kind of capacity for so long, and I think a lot of us felt that a little bit last year. I know like there are certain moments, certain conversations you and I had where we're just kind of looking at each other like,
well,
crazy.
I even looked the other day because, someone we like, Craig Rochelle, has been talking about, he got his pilot's license.
Yeah.
So I went to the local online, the website for the couple companies here that do that.
Yep.
Does Industry do that?
Huh?
Industry?
Industry is just FBO. No.
Is it like the place that's like right next to it?
Sky Warriors.
Sky
Warriors and another one. But I mean, you're talking to get your private pilot's license. is going to cost you 10, 11 grand through the one. And that's if you can do it, if you can pass the test in the minimum hours required. Some people require more hours. It can be as much, which could cost you as much as like up to 17,000 just to get your private pilot's license. And that's not with an instrument rating. So then, well, once you have that license, anytime you want to go fly, you're talking $150 an hour to rent the aircraft, the little Cessna that you can rent them there, but some of them have like a 4-hour minimum or something. So you're spending that, like that's an expensive hobby. It's unless you had the money and were gonna buy your own plane, but like who's doing that?
Yeah, facts.
So it's like,
I mean, other than millionaires, but.
Jesse Duplantis, that's who. No,
but even like a small, like, I guess maybe you could buy like an old Cessna or something, but where do you put that? You're not taking that home, so you got to pay for a hangar. You got to
put it in the driveway.
You got to have a hangar and all that stuff. So that's an expensive thing. So
I'm trying to move out to Molino.
I could see it being cool to have your pilot's license as for the reason Craig Rochelle did, to disconnect and get his mind off things. But it's like that's an expensive hobby.
Yeah. I can scuba dive. I'll go under the water instead of up in the air, and I can do it for a lot less money. So
and I'm not doing that.
Well, initially, not necessarily, but after a while, yeah.
It's not too bad. I mean, to dive somewhere, it's $50 by the time you get a tank and stuff. But
nah, I'm out on that.
I love scuba diving, dude.
I think I would like it if I didn't have
to go underwater.
Fear of being so far underneath the water. Like I'm fine with it being like
Gotcha. Yeah.
8-10 feet down. Other than that,
you want to go snorkeling?
Yeah. I want to snorkel.
I can feel that.
Yeah, it's not bad. There is. Yeah, I mean, you do.
Like if something happens, I'm a long way from air.
Well, sort of that, but also sharks or whatever they.
You actually get used to that pretty quick.
Yeah,
that's honestly, I think for most people, like when it comes to scuba diving, it's the initial, and even people that haven't dove in a long time, like if they take 4 or 5 years off, they still get this weird panic attack thing when they start to go under the water, and it's cresting the water but still breathing, and your mind is telling your body, I'm not supposed to be doing this, like something is wrong. And a lot of people have like mild panic attacks the first time they go under, or if they haven't dove in a long time, the first time they go under in a long time, because you're like,
you're not supposed to breathe in the water.
And you don't realize, most people don't realize how much they breathe through their mouth and nose at the same time.
Me.
So when you're breathing through the mouth and you try to breathe through your nose, but your mask is covering it and it just kind of sucks your mask to your face. And then you realize I can't breathe through my nose. And just that whole, all that's happening at one time. And it kind of freaks you out a little bit. But as soon as you can like kick yourself out of it, I remember I got certified when I was 14. And that was one thing my dad would always tell me. He's like, nothing else matters as long as you keep breathing through your mouth. Like your mask can come off, the biggest animal in the world can go past you. None of that matters as long as you keep breathing through your regulator. And
what happens if your mask comes off on your way down there?
You actually can see in salt water. It burns for about 10 seconds, and then it's just like pool water. Like you're fine again.
Yeah, but I don't like to open my eyes in the water.
Yeah, you can't put it on.
There's water in it.
No, that's part of you learn how to clear it underwater. So you learn how to clear your mask. So if your mask were to come off, you learn how to put your mask back on full of water and then clear the water out of your mask underwater. So you have to learn how to do all that.
Yeah, I don't want to do that. I'm out on that. Yeah. I don't care about that.
I think the farthest I'd like to go is just those really beautiful fish that like swim between the coral.
So you want to go to the Bahamas and go 6 feet under the water.
Just having a good time.
John wants to wear all black and fly a drone over the water. That's what he wants to do.
That actually sounds way better than anything we just talked about.
Oh, man.
Yeah, clear water. You're on the surface just looking down at the...
Yeah. Give me a mask and let me just peek through the water.
Yeah.
Man, this
Matter of fact,
this is pretty.
I like bottom boat.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have those too.
No, I do enjoy. I like scuba diving, and so I'm supposed to be back in the water soon. Actually,
ask me how many times I've been to the beach.
How many times have you been to the beach? Last
year,
in your
life,
how many times did you go last year?
You don't like the beach at all?
I hate the beach.
I don't love going to the beach. Like
to hate the beach is kind of crazy.
I don't hate the beach, but I don't like going. Like I don't have any.
I like the beach in November, January.
It is pretty out there.
The last time I went out there was for Justin and Julia's engagement pictures. which wasn't even technically at Pensacola Beach. It was over towards that other
Portofino.
No, they what do you call it? The place where they shot. I can't think of what the movie's called.
Jaws?
No, the one with that little town, the house.
Seaside.
Oh, Truman Show.
Yeah, the Truman
Seaside.
Show.
Truman Show. Yeah, Seaside. Yeah.
It was over off of that area, but
Wow.
That's
yeah,
far.
So,
Yeah. No, I feel I don't know if I hate the beach. I really don't like the beach in the summertime. I'm sweaty and the sand is sticky and
I'm
it's
not necessarily talking about
crowded
that, but like
and-
even if you went at like 7 p.m., even in July in the evening, to walk out there close to sunset, toes in the sand, that's nice. There's something about the sound of water. It's therapeutic.
that's true.
well, that's nice, but I feel like every time that I've been out there, it's been these rednecks and the loudness of
No
the country
offense,
music.
guys.
And well, no, I mean
If you're
maybe
listening.
offense. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Well, it depends on where you go.
Yeah.
I mean, we're in the
I know what you're
South,
saying.
so-
I burn easier than anybody I've ever met, so I understand the plight of the beach. Like when I do go to the beach, that's why I drive myself. I don't want to ride with nobody because when I'm ready
Facts.
to leave, I'm ready to leave.
Facts.
Once I've gotten in my head, I'm done. I want to rinse all this salt water off and sand off
and leave. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
be out
For
of it.
me, if I'm gonna be in the water or near the water in the summertime, I want to be with a BC strapped to me and I'm going under the water. That's where I'm at with it.
Yeah.
So
Not sure how we got here, but
we're talking about
where we're
hobbies.
at.
We're talking about scuba diving. And
Yeah,
the
yeah,
beach.
yeah.
So, beach overrated, underrated,
Perfectly rated.
perfectly rated. Think so?
for some.
For some. Yeah.
Sunday, Pastor
Sunday.
Dan,
Pastor Dan gave a
Passion
good
in.
word.
It was great, man.
he preached.
Great. He
Quite a word.
preached.
It's
Brought
so,
the house down.
It's so funny because we
Got that dog in him.
we got back from you guys went to golf. We got back from Birmingham,
Yeah.
and then I stayed here
Sermon run through.
until sermon run through, and Pastor Dan did his thing, and we're all sitting there, and we're like, one thing with Pastor Dan is you respect the mess out of him, not just because of who he is and his position at the church, but his just. I don't know. There's just something about Pastor that you look at him in a way that is different than other people, and it's maybe it's his character, maybe it's just what he does. I don't know, but so it's kind of hard to critique somebody who has been in ministry for as long as he has and has
Right.
preached in front of people for as long as he has, and for us to sit there and try to pull apart some of the things that he's doing. We were all kind of apprehensive at it for a second.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, I finally figured out what I'm going to be doing there. This is all new
Doing where?
for us as far as being
the
there.
sermon
'cause
run through?
At the summer run through, he's just like every time he's like, "Oh, John's here." I don't know what he's doing. I think my job, going forward, is storytelling. Is to talk about
The way we tell stories.
the way
That's great.
we tell stories.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
And it was one of those stories. I think it was the first story that he had preached about. And when he was doing it in the run through, he went through it so fast that I was like, we couldn't feel anything from that. And so whenever we talked about it, I was like, man, bring some more emotion into that. Make them feel what you were feeling or what you were going through in that moment.
Yeah.
Because it was big. It is important. And so, and then I said at the end, draw everybody in with the Jabin story. Because that's also a big deal.
Yeah.
And so when we were talking about it, I was like, I don't know if he wants to hear this or not. And he had this idea for a video, which he didn't end up showing on Sunday.
Yeah.
And all of us collectively were like, don't show the video. Because your stories are more important than this video.
Yeah.
The things that you have to say are more important than what you were trying to convey in this video. So,
Yeah.
And he didn't end up
so
showing
good.
it. So it
That's
was
so
good.
Yeah. For the people that don't know, we do a sermon run through on Thursdays. So whoever's preaching on Sunday has to preach on Thursday to about 7 people.
Yeah.
In a big empty room.
It's so hard for them.
And
That's why I'm not, and we'll never preach a message at TC.
There's a whole grading scale and
Yeah,
feedback
it's a lot.
system and all that stuff that is super helpful. But it helps us make sure we're at our best on Sunday mornings. We take sermons very seriously at Transformation Church. So,
And I think
so,
it does. It has made everyone better so far.
I think so, man. It really has. Me and Kyle were talking about it yesterday, I think. No, this morning we were just talking about time, like sermon preaching times and stuff like that. It's like you have more confidence and you feel sharper when you know that you've already processed a lot of your thoughts. And that was what we didn't like. I didn't like feeling like 8:30 service got processed and then you were better for 10 o'clock. Like I didn't like that feeling.
Yeah.
It's not where I goal, but it just kind of happens. Like, it's because you have ways that you think things are going to go. But until you say them out loud to other people, you don't know that. So you don't know if that joke is going to work or if that story is going to land or even when to take the highly energetic moment and like bring it down to like help resonate with someone. Like you don't know those things until you're doing them in front of other people. So yeah, it's just super helpful. So yeah, we do that. No, you can't come. Audience, you're not allowed to come and be part of this. They're like, can I come hear the sermon again? No. But it's a great time. But it is, I think it's helpful, dude. I think it definitely helps me. You know, I do this a lot and it's super helpful to me. But I think we also we were talking about this the other day. Matter of fact, we were talking about it some yesterday at a lunch we were at. And then we talk about it somewhat often, but it's like, I think that a lot of people think that gifted communicators don't have to work hard to be good at it. It's like, oh, well, they're just good at speaking, so that's why they're good at speaking. And it's like, don't get me wrong, some people are definitely naturally more gifted at communicating. Like that's their gift, and they're teachers and preachers. Like, I truly believe that some of that's God-given. But great communicators, which I ascribe to be, work really hard at getting really good at it. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like they learn.
It's a learned skill.
It's a learned skill. It's just like swinging a golf club like we were talking about earlier or anything. Like it is a learned skill that you have to work hard at to know, how to shape words and phrases and how to build energy and bring energy down and how to make eye contact and all those things. Like that's just it is a learned skill. And I think a lot of people don't understand that, you know? So,
no, there's definitely been a benefit for sure.
Nah, I'm looking forward to it I guess this summer at some point.
Yep.
But it makes you kind of have your stuff ready too. A little, there's a whole like.
That's the other part too.
You have your stuff ready because we have a team that does stuff with it. Was like we got to get stuff on the screens and we have sermon notes and the whole thing. So,
a lot going on here at Transformation Church. We don't just show up on Sundays.
Yeah,
we don't. So yeah, but anyways, he had a good message. What's the name of this series? What they do?
How they do it?
Sorry.
If you missed, if you missed it, if you missed it Sunday, go check it on YouTube or on the website or whatever.
Yeah, there are people. There was somebody who commented on the YouTube video after it posted and said that they had just started watching the messages from the last one that you did, and they were like, they don't go to our church. They just somehow found us, and they're like, and they commented underneath the Pastor Dan one and was like, "This is phenomenal." Yeah, and I'm like, well, it's cool to see that.
Those are real stories too,
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that was what I told Pastor Dan.
Well, that's the interesting part. Not to interrupt, but like when it was him and Miss Kathy the week before, it was a whole lot of blessing, a whole lot of good stuff.
Yep.
And if that was your first Sunday and didn't know nothing about Pastor
the rest,
Dan, it was encouraged. Like you walked away encouraged. Like wow,
favor ain't fair.
Right. Yeah, ain't fair. But it's like when you hear like all the bad stuff that happened along the way, or even through some of the stuff he was dealing with privately, that he said like where he talked about I didn't share any of that for 20 years was like privately what's going on in his head. It's like you don't realize that, or just even though and then he didn't get into all of it, but I mean some of the church struggles here and there, the loss, dealing with Tommy. I mean, they talked about that the week before, but having to deal with that, and then he mentioned, of course, Jabin, but there's a lot in there. There's a
lot, dude.
That's a lot.
It's quite a journey.
That's quite a life of like high peaks and low. I mean, that's like that's nothing to play with.
Serious.
Well, that was our goal. That was the goal. Is when he talked with me, we talked on Saturday at one point. We were just going over the notes together, because I wasn't here Thursday for the run through. And so he's just like, tell me what you think. And I made some suggestions, it's like I would tweak this and change that, and it's all minuscule stuff. But that was the one thing he was like, I just don't know if I should share the story again because everybody knows it. I was like, I said, you could probably share this story every week for a year and it's still gripping. I said, the other thing you have to realize is like everything else in your life points back to this. So it's like how you view God or like people need to know that they're not alone in this realization that one thing happened in my life and from that thing, it's changed how I view everything. Like how you experience Jabin's loss ultimately still has to deal with what you went through as a 12-year-old. Like,
yeah.
And if that happened to you, Pastor Dan Livingston, legend of Pensacola, founding pastor of Transformation Church, father of Brad Livingston, fill in the rest of his rap, founder of Outreach Ministries in the Bronx, New York in 1980. Like, if that can happen to you, far be it from me to feel bad about myself, feel sorry for myself, and also think that it's not going to happen to me when it does. Therefore, I can have more confidence. Like, no, I can expect and look for God to show up and be with me through this. It's like, so, I was telling him, like, you have to tell the story. Like, you're doing yourself and everyone else a disservice by not telling it. And, but I get it because it's like, I feel the same way sometimes when I talk about Jabin. I'm like, as all of you know, but I know that there's 4, 5, 12, 15, 20 people out there that don't.
And more as we go.
Right? Yeah.
Growing, so.
And not to mention, like you said, you brought up a great point. It's like, and then there's the online audience that's going to watch our video and maybe find God through it that don't know anything about us. They stumbled across this video because they were looking for how to invest Bitcoin or whatever, and somehow they managed to land on our Transformation Church. Like, you just never know how they're going to get there, right? But right. Which we don't we don't. What is the word I was looking for? We don't
endorse.
Endorse. That was what I was looking for. Yeah, we're not trying to be Bitcoin sellers. But all that to say is we navigate those things so often that we feel like everyone knows them. But there's always 15 and 20 people out there that doesn't, and they need to. And then the people that I've heard it, doesn't hurt to hear it again. Mm-hmm. I feel like I told him, I was like, I could preach the same message. I could preach the same 52 messages every year, and it would probably take 6 years for some people to catch on. You know what I mean? They'd be like, I feel like...
Well, you forget, too.
Like, brother,
I don't remember
5 years in a row, bro.
What did you preach about 3 weeks ago? I don't know.
You forget so easily. But you work so hard on trying to present it,
It is very interesting how fast, how much work you put into something, and then in 6 hours, you're done with it, and you're on to the next.
On to the next thing.
That fast. That's why Josh Lipscomb, we talked about in the Pastor to Pastor podcast, he's like, there's nothing in the world like being a pastor for you to... He said, there's not a CEO on the planet, Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, any of those guys that have to work 12 hours, 16 hours, 20 hours to give a keynote and then wake up the next day and start all over again. He's like, there is no profession where you have to do that.
They go on tours giving the same
thing
talk over and over. Yeah.
Yeah. So it is interesting. It's like we're the only ones that have to do that. And you wake up Monday and do it all over
again. Well, that's why all the church, creative social media people, that's the beauty of the church too, is we are content generating machines.
Yeah.
That you could put out good content on social to battle the crap that's out there.
Ugh.
Plenty
of that.
Plenty of it. So that's the cool part. You know. So
we're getting ready for this Sunday. Got another story to tell.
Yep. Another story to tell. From you or just from the video?
I mean, I'll have stories to tell,
okay,
but
good.
the video, we have another testimony video that we're going to be showing.
Yeah,
we took 2 weeks in the middle of the series to do live stories, which is Pastor Dan and Miss Kathy. So that was intentional. So we'll be back on video this Sunday. I will be preaching live. The testimony will be a video testimony of a couple in our church. So it's going to be great, man. I'm excited.
Be a big Sunday. Rally day.
Rally day, launching groups. Bam,
for
son.
season 2.
Yep.
And Saturday's a big day.
You did say Saturday is a big day. We're going to be doing our food giveaway.
Bellevue, Reimagine Bellevue at Bellevue Middle School.
Mm-hmm.
Love to have you come be a part. Go to mytc.life and register. Come out and help us. We're going to start. I don't know what the official start time is. I know 7. I think we usually tell people 7:30 to get there and start unloading the event starts at 9. We get there at 7 to unload the truck, and get the food set up and
organized
and all that, and then people start showing up, and then at 9 o'clock we give food out till it's gone.
Yep.
And
pretty much.
It's pretty good time. So, anyways, that's going to be
so
Saturday.
You can come join us if you want to be part of the outreach and
No doubt.
yeah, all that stuff. Do some missions, give some food away.
Come on.
It'll be a good time. So
Awesome.
Always a good time.
yeah. Well, we got all kinds of crazy stuff going on here at TC.
We sure do.
It's awesome. We're in that post-Easter cruise, getting ready for the summer, baby.
Get ready.
Launching groups, building teams, leadership.
Having fun.
That's right.
We're out of here.
We're out of
We
here.
had enough fun for today.
We did what we came to do. So
We did
Hey, listen,
what we-
we love all of you. Justin, if they saw these three faces and thought to themselves, by God, I need to know more about this church.
Mainly mine.
Where might that happen?
You can go to transformationchurch.com or Transformation Pensacola on all the socials.
Every one of them.
Yep, all of them. TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook.
All of it.
Just not on X anymore.
Not on X.
Yeah, forget X. Yeah.
Maybe not on Twitter, TikTok much longer either. But
Oh, yeah.
We'll see
Anyways,
what happens with
go
that.
to the Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. Yeah.
Yeah, you're safe there for now.
Yeah.
YouTube. All right.
Yeah.
What was that? The rock and roll?
Like, subscribe, do all the stuff. Follow.
Do all the stuff.
However you can do it.
Why
Share.
not, you
Share some
know?
stuff,
Why
man.
not?
Share this thing.
Yeah, why not?
But we love all of you. Thank you for tuning in. John, thanks for being on the podcast today.
You're welcome.
Kyle, you got out of this one. We're going to get you on one soon.
You will be, Kyle.
Justin,
See y'all.
later.
Be good.